Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Will the Honorable Minister please confirm for this Honorable House the total capital development amount paid to date from inception for the infrastructure currently in place as a result of the initial development of the Grand Atlantic Housing Development Project and the development of the Bermudiana Beach Resort Project combined, including any project conversion costs? Thank you.
Colonel Birch.
Mr. Speaker, it is my intent to provide full background to the questions asked, so there is a complete understanding of the history of this project, decisions made, the funds expended, but also the expectation that those funds will be recouped. So the answer to the first question, Mr. Speaker, is the total capital development amount paid to date from inception for the infrastructure currently in place as a result of the initial development of the Grand Atlantic Housing Development Project and the development of the Bermudiana Beach Resort Project combined, including any project conversion costs, is $64,077,146, of which $42,028,370 relates to the development and acquisition of the 78 condo units at Grand Atlantic 12 years ago, and $22,048,776 for the development of the Bermudiana Beach Resort. The 78 condo units at Grand Atlantic were originally part of the 2007 Grand Atlantic Resort and Residences project, which was a private sector project. The Bermuda Housing Corporation BHC involvement began in 2009, and the construction began on 78 condo units in 2010 and were completed in 2012. The sales process for condo units has spanned several governments and ministers over the years and has faced many challenges since inception, including a difficult economic climate, decline in housing prices, decline in demand for housing, and a false narrative over the safety of the cliffs, to name a few. In 2013, the sale of units were placed on hold indefinitely by the then government, while options for the property were considered. A request for information, RFI, on the property was issued in March 2013, with submissions due by May 2013. After analysis, meetings, and review of the submissions, and a memorandum of understanding was entered into with the selected proposal to convert the property into a condo hotel. The MOU was initially for a period of 120 days and was then extended to March 2015. After the expiration of this MOU, the BHC negotiated with the bank to obtain a term loan for $36 million to refinance the short-term loan used for the original purchase of the Grand Atlantic condo units. Also in 2015, BHC was asked to rent a portion of the property on a short-term basis for the 2015 America's Cup World Series event. The property was rented for this event, and a request for proposal for the property was drafted and issued in May 2016, with submissions due by the end of June 2016. After analysis, meetings, and review of the submissions, a proposal was selected and approved in October 2016. BHC was again asked to rent the property for the America's Cup event till July 2017. In July 2017, an election was held, which resulted in a change of government. The new government continued negotiations with the selected co-developer party, who were approved by the previous government to develop a condo hotel on the Grand Atlantic site. There were several steps involved in moving forward with this proposal, including approval of plans by the Planning, Health, Fire, Environment departments, and as well as consultation with other related government departments such as tourism, amendments to the BHC Act, creation of subsidiary companies, applications and approvals of tourism investment orders, which will be coming to this house soon. Once this process was completed, an agreement was signed on August 22nd, 2019, between the government and the co-developer parties. The co-developer set up the sales office and began the sales process. Furniture and fixtures for the first 4 blocks were ordered at that time, and construction of the elevator shafts on blocks A and D commenced along with the condo configuration for the 4 model rooms. In early 2020, the COVID pandemic started to take hold on the world, which made meeting sales targets challenging. The pandemic resulted in sales targets not being reached to meet debt financing conditions, and therefore an alternative financing facility was negotiated with the bank. In June of 2021, a new $10 million loan facility was agreed. With the new financing in place, there was a need for a new co-developer agreement to be negotiated and signed. During the course of negotiations, the parties agreed to an amicable separation agreement. The government is committed to the completion of this project as there is a direct correlation between available hotel beds and airlift. The shortage of hotel beds has resulted in a decline in the number of flights. This project will also result in increasing employment during construction in the short term and employment in the hotel in the longer term. Revised plans were drafted and submitted to planning in March 2022 and were approved late July 2022. Application for building permits was submitted in 3 phases. Phase 1, which covers the reception building and wastewater treatment plant, were issued in December 2022. Phase 2, which covers the new restaurant, bar, meeting room, spa, gym, and back of house, were also issued in December 2022. And Phase 3, which covers the pool, pool deck, pool bar, and grill, stairs to the beach, and elevator, and were issued in March 2023. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Simons, second question. Supplementary.
The minister indicated that there was a co-development agreement. My question is this: is there an infusion of capital by the Hilton group of companies, and are they the partner in the co-development agreement?
Mr. Speaker, no, there is no financial involvement by Hilton, and yes, they are the co-developer in the agreement.
Thank you. Simons.
Thank you. Supplemental. Is there a lease in place between BHC and the management company? And if there is, can you provide the summary details?
Mr. Speaker, I'm not sure that there is no lease in place with anyone, actually. The property is owned by Bermuda Development Company Limited, which is a subsidiary of the Bermuda Housing Corporation.
Your second question?
Will the Honorable Minister please provide for this Honorable House the details of the expected sovereign guarantee increase required to satisfy the $29 million loan facility currently in place for the benefit of the Bermudiana Beach Resort project, as the current guarantee stands at $10 million?
Mr. Speaker, there is no $29 million loan facility currently in place. There is a $10 million facility, which is sovereign guarantee, as indicated by the question. An additional construction loan of $25 million is in the process of being finalized to complete this project. Once finalized, it will be reported to this House as required by law. Thank you.
Okay, I have no supplemental on that.
Okay, your third question.
Will the Honorable Minister please confirm for this Honorable House the details of the work currently outstanding on the Bermudiana Beach Resort project and the estimated remaining costs to bring this new hotel development project to a completion, including all of its amenity costs. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
Mhm.
the estimated remaining cost to bring the new hotel development project to completion, including all of its amenities, is $28,280,510. Of this remaining cost, $19,682,510 is for construction, and $8,598,000 is for furniture, fixtures, equipment, and other related costs. In order to convert the property into a hotel that meets Hilton standards, a number of upgrades and modifications were needed. These include items such as electrical upgrades, backup power generation, upgrades to water and wastewater systems, environmental controls, amenity areas, safety and security systems. Electrical upgrades required the site to be converted to three-phase electrical from single-phase. To accomplish this, it required the replacement of all Balco lines and related infrastructure, in addition to new automatic transfer switch rooms to accommodate the increase in load requirements. All units were required to be rewired with three-phase electrical wiring. To accommodate changes in technology for electric vehicles, upgrades were required in the parking lots in order to provide charging stations. A key requirement by Hilton is to have backup power generation. This required the purchase of 2 generators, each linked to one of the ATS rooms. In order to accommodate the telecommunication, connectivity, and security requirements, additional modifications and wiring were required in all rooms and amenity spaces. The conversion of the property from a residential to a tourism property required upgrades to the water and wastewater systems. The average water consumption per person in a residential unit is approximately 35 gallons, whereas the average use for a hotel is approximately 100 gallons per person. This required upgrades to the water heaters and pumps to accommodate the increased usage by hotel guests and maintain consistent temperature and pressure. The anticipated increase in wastewater resulted in the need to increase the size of the wastewater treatment plant, not only for the guests in the rooms, but also for other services in the restaurant, spa, pool area, and so on. In order to meet guests' expectations, as part of Hilton standards, rooms must maintain a certain level of environmental controls relating to heating, cooling, water temperature, etc. As such, each room is connected to a metering system to monitor and maintain these controls on an ongoing basis. In converting the residential rooms into hotel accommodation, modifications were necessary for the buildings. These items include elevators for each block, additional handrails to the stairways, upgraded fire suppression systems, additional washrooms in both room and public areas, disability access, creation of 2 ADA compliant rooms, sidewalks and pedestrian walkways, and installation of CCTV systems and other safety items such as access control points. Conversion to a hotel requires the addition of several amenity areas. A reception and administration area was required in addition to the IT and telecommunication area, storage, and restrooms. In order to accommodate these functions, a new 2-story reception building was needed, including a covered area for arriving and departing guests. The northernmost residential building is being converted into a restaurant, bar, lounge, meeting room, spa, gym, and back-of-house areas. These amenities are a key part of the operations of the hotel. In order for the restaurant to meet the standards of the hotel and building regulations, a new wing has to be added to the building. On the southeast of the property, a large pool deck, bar, and grill will be built for the enjoyment of guests staying at the hotel. Added to this is the construction of stairs and an elevator giving direct access to the beach. Bermudiana Beach Resort will be able to accommodate close to 500 persons, as such group business will play a key role in the success of the hotel. One important amenity is the support kitchen and washrooms adjacent to the events lawn, which will provide the venue and services for large functions such as weddings, receptions, cocktail functions, barbecue, and other large gatherings. Hilton Hotels is one of the leading players in the group business segment. As a result of the change in use of the property, as well as the additional buildings and amenities, several areas on the property require significant modifications to the landscape to reflect the natural beauty of Bermuda, as well as to provide privacy and shade for the guests. A comprehensive landscape plan was designed and submitted to planning for approval. These items include additional endemic trees and plants, other architectural features such as the Bermuda Moongate and relaxation area. The Housing Corporation has a construction management contract with the contractor BCM Construction Limited. It consists of the construction management of the redevelopment of Bermudiana Beach Resort and new construction of the following, and refers to a client budget dated 22nd of April 2022. So one is residential blocks A, B, D, E, F, G, H, and J, which is 8 blocks. Block C, which is the spa and restaurant and gym meeting rooms and back of house. 3, the sewage treatment plant. 4, the generators. 5, the swimming pool. 6, the reception and entry building. 7, the beach access stair and elevator shaft. 8, the events lawn building. And 9, landscaping and site works. If the work is modified by the owner for any other reason outside of the construction manager's control, construction manager shall be entitled to payment for all costs plus additional overhead and profit associated with the resulting change in the work. Some of the items which would cause changes increase in cost on material such as cement and block, upgrade of systems to meet Hilton standards, site conditions, instructions from planning to add or change items, and other such issues. Brunel Engineering have been contracted to manage the project and review all invoices and tenders and sign off on the monthly application and certificate for payment, which is then presented to the board of the Bermuda Housing Corporation for approval. Both the board and the ministry believe that this partnership with Hilton Hotels will not only prove to be a welcome addition to the tourism inventory, but also a profitable investment for those purchasing the condos and the Bermudian taxpayer, who will eventually see every dollar spent on this project repaid. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Mr. Simons.
Thank you. Can the minister please confirm to this honorable House the cost to deliver on the requirements prescribed by the Hilton Group of Hotels to have this hotel up and running at their standards?
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I wonder if the opposition leader could repeat the last part of his question.
Yes.
Can the minister please confirm to this honorable House the cost of the requirements prescribed by the Hilton Group of Companies to ensure that the hotel meets their standards?
Mr. Speaker, that would be the figure that I used at the beginning of the answer to question number 3. That would be 28,280,510. That's split $19,682,510 for construction and $8,598,000 for furniture, fixtures, equipment, and other related costs. And I might add, Mr. Speaker, that Hilton are regularly on the island and meeting virtually in relation to this project, and have been intimately involved in every aspect of it, including the approval of the wording of the actual purchase and sales agreements, which has been an exercise in and of itself. Thank you.
Mr. Dunkley?
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and good morning, colleagues. To the Honorable Minister. The Honorable Minister has mentioned the arrangement with Hilton. And with this $100 million project, the minister said that the taxpayer would be repaid in full. How is the minister assured that the taxpayer will be repaid in full?
Mr. Speaker, the hotel is going to be a success and going to make a profit. And the Bermuda Development Company Limited, the subsidiary of the Bermuda Housing Corporation, will reap some of those benefits, and they will inure to the benefit of the Bermudian taxpayer.
Thank you. Sit down, please. Another.
Yes, second supplementary. Mr. Speaker, I thank the Honorable Minister for that. The Bermuda Housing Corporation will reap some of those benefits. What is the financial arrangement between the Bermuda Housing Corporation and the Hilton operation?
Mr. Speaker, I don't have that information to hand, but I will undertake to provide it.
Thank you, Minister. Any further? Mr. Simons, second supplementary.
Second supplementary, no. Okay, let's see how I can combine these two. Can the minister confirm the details and cost of the advertising campaign for the 2024 suggested opening date of the hotel?
Mr. Speaker, I don't have that information either,
Okay.
but I will give it undertaken to provide it ideally today.
Thank you, Minister. Brother Pearman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Acting Speaker, and good morning. Supplemental to the response given by the Honorable Mr. Colonel Birch, you indicated in the amenities that would be available, the events lawn. I'd understood that that was still subject to planning permission, and that planning had recommended against. Has that been approved, or when will it be approved, and by whom?
Mr. Speaker, I did not mention the events lawn. I mentioned the events lawn building, and I talked about the work that has been taking place with that. With regard to the events lawn itself, that is currently on appeal to the minister responsible for the environment. And in fact, whilst that appeal has been going on, we have amended the application to withdraw the aspect of the parking lot, which was a significant irritation, I'll say, to those who like trees. But I accepted that there was some confusion. There was some confusion in the application to planning in that there were two parking lots referred to. We were unaware of the second parking lot and could not figure out how planning were talking about two parking lots. But suffice to say that we have accepted that we can use the parking lot that is currently in place with some enhancement. And so the minister has been advised in writing that the Bermudiana Beach Resort are withdrawing that part of the application for a parking lot.
Thank you. There are no further questions. There is some questions from Mr. MP Kenner to the Minister of Tourism. Mr. Kenner. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. I'm sorry.